How are you?
I'm good.
Whenever you're ready, Mike, it's 6:01.
So that's your
You ready?
solid?
Recording in progress.
Good evening, I'd like to call the June 17th Town Board meeting to order. Everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'd like to welcome everyone back. It's been about a month since we last met, and we're about to embark on another busy summer season, so we're almost there. So welcome and good luck to everybody. I don't have anything to report this week, although Miranda would like to make an announcement, so I'd like to give her the floor.
Yes, it's always good to hear some good news. Last year, for my husband's scholarship, memorial scholarship, we gave out 1 scholarship. This year, we were able to give out 4. It's 4 kids going into, they are all continuing on and going to college. 2 of the young men are going into a welding college, and 2 of the youngsters are going in for diesel mechanic, and 1 is a girl. So I was very proud to give those scholarships out.
Excellent.
Okay, so let's move on to correspondence. Paula, do we have any correspondence this week?
No.
Nope. Then I'd like to open it up to public comments. Do we have anyone signed up to speak tonight?
I do not.
Okay, would anyone like to speak tonight?
I think Ocean wanted to say something. Ocean.
Or would you like to say something?
Well,
Ocean,
I-
can you come up?
I don't think it's about, go ahead, ask her.
Ocean.
well, maybe Nathan could get a message to Mr. Lovner for me. This is what I'm having a problem with.
Okay.
The BOCES did away with the adult education program for people who need their GED and they need English as a second language. Usually the BOCES tells the people to go to the Read It Again bookstore, and every time you call the Read It Again, they always say they don't have a tutor for me.
They don't have a tutor, they don't have,
They don't have a tutor for me. And I think they said it's because I'm above the 7th grade level in English and math. I think they're saying.
You have my email, right?
Yeah,
Shoot me a little email and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
okay,
Is this for your GED?
yeah,
They should be able to help
Yeah,
them.
I'll try to help you out.
all right, thank
she
you.
always like,
Ocean, will you write
they
your
say,
last
they refer other people there, but she never having, nothing for them. Like the BOCES is telling people to go to that
It could
place.
be the adult center in Monticello, and they
Ocean's-
would probably help him, but
The
I'm
adult
sure
center?
Mr.
Oh, sure, what's it
Levner
called?
would
Talk to
know.
Joe or,
Yeah,
Read
Joe
it
Levner
again.
would know,
Oh,
and maybe they can help him out.
okay, thank you. No, it's just the fact that she's, you know, they're telling people to go there and she has nothing. So don't tell people to go there. I know she can say that.
Yeah,
you got it.
okay.
Do we have any other speakers that would like to speak tonight?
I have one online, Abraham Rosenberg, sorry. Abe, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, board. First of all, thank you all for your service. I want to bring up an issue that I witnessed this weekend. I went to pay a Shiva call, unfortunately for this child that was struck by a vehicle on a state drive in the town of Fallsburg. I had a discussion with a family and I had a discussion with other people in that little street. I believe there used to be a speed bump on that street that has been removed. Unfortunately, it's my understanding that that street, I can tell you that much, for me driving out that street, took me about 7-8 minutes because I was scared. There are so many kids on that road. It is considered like a off-road or so, but in a certain way it belongs to the town. I believe there used to be a speed bump over there and it was removed. I believe we don't want to have another unfortunate accident. I don't think this accident could have been prevented by a speed bump. It was an accident, but I've heard from other people living over there that there should be a speed bump to slow down drivers. Is there anything that the town could help out? This is a town road, it's not a county, not a state. What can we do to get speed bumps back there for safety?
What's the name of the road?
State Drive.
I believe it's State Drive it
State
is.
Drive.
It's where the yeshiva of South Fallsburg is.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there was a tragic accident over there last week.
Yeah, Abe, I actually paid a Shiva call there as well, and I went with the police chief. And we talked about the speed bumps. I think the town, in general, it is a town road. In general, we don't usually have speed bumps because it becomes an issue in the winter with plowing. But I have a call already into our highway, the head of our highway department, to ask if there is a way to put a speed bump that would be able to be removed easily. They have like rubber speed bumps.
I was gonna suggest that, I was told there are certain developments that do that as well. They put in rubberized speed bumps like with large nails or whatever, how they work.
Yeah.
And during the winter, they get removed for snow plowing.
Yeah, those are all, you're probably talking about private developments that do that, but in general, the town usually doesn't, but I'm looking into it already.
I thank you very much, and I thank you for the board and for the police department for the great work that you guys do. Thank you again.
Thank you, Abe.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else that'd like to speak tonight, either in person or online?
Nobody online.
All right, then we're gonna go ahead and close the public portion, and we're gonna move on to our agenda items for tonight. Number one, motion to approve warrant 05825 dated 5/19/25 in the amount of $269,039.21.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number two, motion to approve warrant number 05B25 dated 5/23/25 in the amount of $408,986.89.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number three, motion to approve warrant 0625 dated 6/6/25 in the amount of $705,985.38.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number four, motion to approve town board minutes dated 5/20/2025. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number five, motion to approve employment of Douglas Stevens as a court officer with a pay of $25 per hour effective 6/9/25.
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number six, motion to approve permanent employment of James Schulte as building inspector effective 6/3/25. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number seven, motion to approve employment of Patty Seletsky as boat manager with an hourly rate of $18.25 effective 5/23/25.
Motion. Second.
I have a
I'm
motion
going
and a
to
second,
abstain.
and I have one abstention, so, and I'm a yes, so I have 3 yes and 1 abstention. Number eight, motion to approve employment of Steve Burke as boat attendant / security with an hourly rate of $22.50 effective 5/23/25.
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number nine, motion to approve employment of Adrian Calvello, Nick Storms, and Jean Carlos Iraheta as laborers with an hourly rate of $16.25 an hour effective 5/23/25.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 10, motion to approve employment of Tabitha Hamel as office clerk in Parks Department with an hourly rate of $16.25 effective 5/24/25.
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Who's the second?
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'm sorry. Who's the second?
I abstain, this was second.
Alright, so I have an abstention, I have a motion. And I'm waiting for a second.
Miranda says she did.
Oh,
No?
No,
I thought I
she
heard her
said
say.
anything.
I'm sorry.
Alright, so without a second, the motion cannot,
I'll second it.
I have a second, I have a motion and a second, and I am in favor, the motion passes. And, I have one
Jeff,
abstention. Number 11, motion to approve employment of Jamie Lynn Kessler as office clerk in Parks Department with an hourly rate of $16.25 effective 6/6/25.
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 12, motion to approve employment of David Rose as laborer in the Parks Department with an hourly rate of $16.25 effective 6/10/25.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all
I'm
in
going
favor?
to abstain.
Abstain,
Abstain.
alright, and I'm a yes, so it's 3-1, or 3-0 and a 1. Number 13, motion to approve employment of Sabrina Amigo as aquatics director in the Parks Department with an hourly rate of $33 effective 6/6/25.
Motion.
I have a motion,
Second.
and I have a second, all in favor? Aye. 4-0. Number 14, motion to approve Aaron Wiswer as a part-time enforcement officer with a pay of $25 per hour effective 6/9/25.
I want to table this.
So, first off, before we can get to that, first we have, I'm looking for a motion. Do I have a motion?
It can be a motion to table.
I'm making a motion to table.
I
Second.
have a motion to table and a second, all in favor?
who's the second? Jeff
Jeff is the
motions
second.
it? and-
No,
or
she motioned.
she's motioning, and then he's, oh,
I
I'm sorry.
second it.
Sorry.
All in
No,
favor?
that's all right. Motion to table by Miranda, and Jeff is seconding.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. How do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, I'm an aye as well, so, 4-0 to table to a later time, later agenda. Number 15, motion to approve Beth Jean Gettle as a consultant to review, update, and correct town and state code in the building department's IPS system with an hourly rate of $35 per hour effective 5/22/25.
Motion.
Second.
After motion and a second, all in favor?
I'm going to abstain.
I have one abstention, and I am in favor, so 3-0 and 1. Next. So the next one has to do with, I guess, a disclaimer that we're looking to put in our future agendas. Essentially, we're looking to mirror what Town of Thompson currently does on theirs, and that is to state that, we do offer Zoom or video conferencing when available, but it's merely a courtesy and a convenience, and, if something happens and it gets disrupted, we don't stop the meeting until we get it up again and then continue the meeting. Usually we have started so people can follow along after the meeting, or they can read the minutes. But, as far as live view, we try our best with the limited technology we have. Most of the time, I'd say 9 out of 10 times it works. But for that one time out of 10 where it doesn't work, we have a disclaimer, like the Town of Thompson does, to ensure that, we're not beholden to having that capability always, to the point where we have to stop our meetings and resume it at a time when we can get that video conferencing up and running. 16, motion to add the following language to each Fallsburg board agenda and regular or special meetings. Please take notice that this town board meeting will be held in person and via video conferencing as permitted by the New York State Open Meetings Law. The Zoom invite is merely a courtesy and convenience to the public. If there's a disruption in the ability of the Zoom meeting to commence or even continue once the meeting has commenced, the official meeting of the town board shall continue in person without interruption. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Hold on
Aye.
a second. Just 1 second.
It also should be modified to say on board agenda and meeting notices,
But, yeah, legal notice.
and meeting notices.
Yep.
Because we put the Zoom information in our notices. But it's only for board purposes.
Oh,
not
I
the
see.
other boards.
So motion to add the following language to each Fallsburg board agenda and regular or special meeting,
Notices.
special meeting notices.
Yeah.
And then what I just read. Alright, so let's revote. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Alright, so the next one has to do with just awarding a low bidder for the excavation for the Never Seen Crossing project. This is a massive multi-year project, and we've received, I think, 4 bids to do the grading work, and Reeves Excavation came in substantially less than everyone else. So number 17, motion to award apparent low bidder Reeves Excavation for the Never Seen Trail Gap interim grading, Sullivan County, New York, with the amount of $74,500.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
I'm going to abstain.
Alright, so I'm a yes, so I have
I just
3
actually
yes.
have a question for our attorney. So with abstentions, as long as I've been on the board, and I've been on the board a long time, you can really only abstain if there's a conflict.
I
And
thought that was a recusal. No?
No, recusal is conflict, abstain is not prepared to vote. Okay.
so you can abstain for any reason.
No, you're not prepared to vote. Abstention means you don't have enough knowledge, you're abstaining from the vote, but you're not voting no.
Correct.
Right. So the next one, so now we're going into resolutions, just to give you a quick summary of this next one. So we're looking to adopt a travel reimbursement policy. The policy that we're looking to adopt allows for reimbursement of actual and necessary expenses as long as you have itemized receipts. However, there's also a per diem option of about, I think, $57 per day, where you don't have to provide any receipts and it's automatic. This will help give some flexibility when going on approved travel.
So let me ask you a question on that. If we went away for business, the town business, and we don't give you receipts, we automatically get $50.
57.
57, depending, right, it's $40.
As long as you did lodging and the meals.
Okay,
Right.
but if I have receipts that it's less or more, I give it,
You get
Give it
reimbursed
in.
actual subject to the table.
okay, thank you.
Right, so number 18, Resolution 51 of 2025, resolution of the town board adopting travel reimbursement policy.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. So the next one has to do with the police department. So they're looking to contract with a company that would essentially, when someone
It would
does.
be a town retainer. It's for purposes of reviewing and redacting the body cam for
So you're saying it applies to the whole town, not to the police department?
No, it only applies to body cam. The only
Right.
people that walk around body cam, but it's a town, the police department's not retaining them. The town is retaining them, and then the structure is that anyone requests a FOIL that requires redacting, it has to go through this process. But it's a town, the town of Fallsburg is engaging the consultant, and the purpose is to review police body cam and redact according to the FOIL regulations, in order to comply with FOIL requests, which are generally directed to the clerk.
Okay, so theoretically, if the building department, our code enforcement officers decide to get body cams, then this company would be able to do those redactions as well.
Yeah, it's true, not typical, but
That's
yes.
very
We would probably have to look at it, because it's very oriented, the contract is very oriented to the police and all of the regulations regarding the body cams and security and bonding, and it's an entire process. And this company is used by various local police agencies, state police, and other agencies outside the state as well.
So the intention is for them to be used with the police department, but we're really contracting with the town is contracting.
Yeah,
with the town.
it just doesn't happen to apply. We would have to look at it if that were to ever come up. And, you know, because all of that would be subject to FOIL, and there is, I suppose, a quasi law enforcement. I would have to look into it a little more deeply. But the issue with police and body cam is you have public safety, you have safety of witnesses, safety of victims, you have, you know, identities of various people that may need to be redacted out. There are additional considerations when you're dealing with police, ongoing investigations and so forth, with, you know, more extensive and sophisticated than is necessary, because these are videos that are being redacted, so that it requires expertise and equipment and so on. And the agreement, if you look at the agreement that was circulated, is very, very specific, and it's also pretty expensive, but this is not at the expense of the town, this is at the expense of the requester. Under the open meetings law, we can charge the reasonable amount that's necessary in order to fulfill the request.
Okay. All right, so number 19, resolution number 52 of 2025. Resolution authorizing the town of Fallsburg to retain focal forensics for body camera footage redacting services in connection with complying with FOIL requests.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 20. So this one has to do with the rail trail, specifically the Hurleyville piece. So the town, right, so the town is in a 99-year lease with the Center for Discovery, you know, for, I guess, for the control and for the maintenance of the rail trail. The Center for Discovery is looking to divest from this property, being that, you know, they have to maintain insurances, things like that, and really it's the town that's, you know, in control of the property for the next 100 years. So they are essentially giving that piece of the rail trail to the town, I believe for the zero amount, something of that sort. I think this is pretty huge, because, you know, there's a lot of legal issues with having a 99-year lease with an entity, not to mention the insurances and things of that sort. So much like the other parts of the rail trail that's within the town of Fallsburg, this will come under the town control, permanent town control. So,
There's also one small piece that's into it.
oh, a parcel that's also part of it that they're looking to give to the town as well in relation to the rail trail. So resolution number 53 of 2025, authorizing the town of Fallsburg to accept a consideration conveyance of real property generally known as the rail trail, also known as the Milk Train Rail Trail, in which the town of Fallsburg is currently a tenant pursuant to a 99-year lease as addended together with Fallsburg SBL number 47-1-32.3, Old O&W Row 1 Basketball Courts, La Vista Drive. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. So number 21, so this has to do with a sewer, a out-of-district sewer agreement that we had going back to 1999 with a camp that is, I think, in the village. No, they're outside the village of Woodbridge, but they were also just outside our sewer district. And about 25 years ago, the town entered into an agreement with them for, I believe, 30,000 gallons per day. Since that time, you know, they've grown and they're looking to contract, currently they need 50,000 gallons per day. They will eventually look for 80,000 gallons per day. However, the Mountaindale sewer plant is nearing or at capacity, and we cannot grant them 80,000. So the agreement is that they will wait until that plant gets upgraded at some point in the future, in which case we will then allocate 80,000 gallons per day. Now now in exchange for upping their discharge limits from 30,000 to 50,000, they are going to purchase for the town I believe a $250,000 sewage vacuum truck that our I guess our employees have been asking for a long time, but we haven't always had the funds for. They're gonna be using it for, to assist them in the extra sewage work that they have to do with remediating the lagoon system in Mountaindale, which needs to be remediated, not in addition to being expanded, it also needs to be remediated, which, will expand the useful life. That's a very expensive endeavor to have a company come out and do it for us, but if we had the equipment ourselves, we could start that work in-house for substantially less. So this camp, in agreement for allowing them to discharge more, will also convey on us this, I think it's close to $250,000 vacuum truck in exchange. So
And that's beneficial to the entire district because it's cleaning the lagoons that serve all users within the district.
Yeah, because we do have to remediate that lagoon system, and it's way overdue, but cost is a factor because the companies that we would normally try to contract to bring the truck out to do the work are charging us a premium for that service, and being that they have to have insurances and things like that. We have the crew, we have the know-how, we have the insurances, we don't have the equipment. So this is kind of a beneficial for everyone involved, where they will get us the equipment, and this will give us the ability to remediate and do work in-house instead of contracting it out.
Motion.
So I'll just read it quickly. Resolution 54 of 2025, approving amendments for Yeshiva Mesivta Torah Timima Incorporated Sewer Agreement dated June 1999. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. So the next one has to do with a traffic study. So there's a Y intersection on Laurel Avenue and Laurel Park Road, which has been, a big safety concern for many years. People tend to fly down that Y intersection. One side has a stop sign, the rest don't. It's also a blind corner there where you really can't see who's coming. It's really poorly designed. So, some people are talking about maybe stop signs, maybe some other type of controls, devices, something, maybe put new lines in, who knows? But before we could even make a decision on what the best way to move forward on remediating the safety concern is, we'd have to bring in a consulting company to do a traffic study to determine just how bad is it really, and then let them come up with a series of recommendations. And then the board will decide if any or all, whatever it is, we can't make the decision until we have the information in front of us. So that's essentially what we're doing. We're looking to convene a traffic study. Resolution 55 of 2025, authorizing the town of Fallsburg to retain GTS Consulting as consultant to provide professional services to conduct a traffic study at Laurel Avenue and Laurel Park Road intersection.
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a
Just a
second?
quick question.
I thought we had a traffic study on that. front.
No.
We did, but it was done after the season, it wasn't done.
Or in the peak season.
This
Okay,
is,
all right.
this is the two heavy days in July, 13 hours each day, 6 AM to 7 PM, including cars, heavy vehicles, by direction and pedestrians.
So we have a second, yeah.
Second, all in favor?
Who's the first, Miranda?
I did.
Right.
Brandon. So I have 4-0. All right, so number 23, resolution 56 of 2025, authorizing the town clerk to solicit bids for wastewater sludge removal with a bid due date of 7/8/25 at 10 a.m.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion, a second, all in favor? Aye, motion passes. I also have a add-on resolution that I was asked to add tonight, mainly because, we need to, we're looking to set a public hearing. We need a certain amount of time to get it into the paper. The Democrat, usually publishes, at very set times, so we have to work with their schedules along with our schedule. And then ultimately, we are, it's gonna slow down the larger project. So, normally I don't like to just add things to the agenda after the agenda's out, unless there's some kind of exigent circumstance. The circumstance here is that, it's gonna cut into the larger project if we don't at least get it, noticed, into the paper in time for the public hearing. So, Resolution 57 of 2025, authorizing town special counsel to effect the acquisition of certain property located within the town of Fallsburg and set a public hearing for 7/15/25 at 6 p.m.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
I'm going to abstain.
All right, I'm a yes, and I have one abstention, so it's a 3-0-1. And just to be clear, the public hearing is gonna be, with regard to a piece of property right next to the wastewater treatment plant that we need to bury some, phone lines, electrical lines, so we need to acquire that property.
I wish you would have told me before I abstained, because I didn't know what it was about.
I apologize, I should have been a bit more
Yeah.
clear.
Now I take my abstention away and.
We can do a revote, right?
Yes, a revote.
Yeah.
Let's do a revote.
Yeah.
Right,
Motion,
so,
I second.
yeah, so just to finish it up, so there's a property right next door to there's actually a house right next door to the wastewater treatment plant. We were in discussions with them for a very long time to purchase just a sliver of their driveway so that we could bury our lines in order to do the wastewater agreement, the wastewater treatment plant upgrade. However, they came back saying that they'd rather the town buy the entire property from them. We're not in the market to just buy houses, so we just need that little sliver of property. So we're gonna go through the, I guess it's like an eminent domain process, to be able to give them the money that property is worth, because we are required to reimburse them the value of that property, and then basically declare that property is needed for the greater good for the town, for the upgrade of this wastewater treatment plant. So that's what we're doing. The first step of that process is to set the public hearing. So I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Just for the record, so how that's gonna work in the minutes, it'll be just as it was, and then that Miranda abstained, asked a question, and then
Revote.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so that's all I have on my agenda for tonight. If we have anything for executive session, I'll take a motion. Otherwise, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
The only thing I have is what I sent in the email, if everyone's comfortable.
We have.
We go over everything?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay, what are they related to?
It's pending litigation.
Yeah.
Is it pending litigation? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation.
Motion.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor? Aye, motion passes. We do not anticipate any further business after executive session tonight. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and for being involved in your civil duties. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You haven't had a meeting every month.
I know.
you only come in a hat. Yeah.
That's not what I'm here.